JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today, the 6th of June 2022, guys. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a view of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which I believe you can find useful, especially if you click on the market news and analysis page and tab, and it'll take you to this page, which is updated on a daily basis. So I believe, yeah, like I said, it could be quite useful for yourselves. So now then, jumping into the chart, guys, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So as always, the index is pushing nicely to the upside. It rebounded from that area I talked about. So I was looking at this area previously as a good barrier, but I said that if it gets broken, then this could open the door towards some higher levels, like for example the 28,339 level right here, which is the highest point of March. So yeah, at the moment we're on the right track. We did rebound from that from this area close to that 200-day EMA and that 27,580 zone. So now, yeah, let's see how well we can, let's say, travel higher, and if we can actually, end up reaching this barrier, the highest point of March. At the moment, like I said, yeah, as long as it stays above this upside line, yep, we will continue aiming to the upside. For the downside, well, at this point in time, I would actually prefer maybe to see a drop below this downside line, which I looked at previously. This downside line is drawn from the high of the 14th of September of last year. So if we drop below it, then yeah, maybe we could start considering a bit of a move lower. However, there would still be some obstacles on the way lower, so that's why I would say let's be very careful for now. Let's like I said, for now I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but again, let's see. Like I said, let's see how this is going to play out. Shanghai Composite very quickly on that one. So yeah, also pushing nicely to the upside. So far so good. Everything's working out according to the plan. So the plan was that if we do push through this 3,160 territory, yep, and if we continue to trade above it, then yeah, I'll go for the upside. At the moment, as you can see, it's working out nicely here. So what I talked about last week was that I said that my next target is the 3,226 area, somewhere around here. But if that gets broken, the main target is here in the area between the 3,280, 3,290 levels. The only little issue with that highlighted territory here with this target is we have this downside line. So the question is, can we actually overcome it? And it also almost, as I would say, coincides with the 100-day EMA. So in other words, this area could be quite an interesting one to watch. So if we do push above that 3,226 territory above it, then yes, we'll aim for this downside line for this 100-day EMA, and then we will take it from there, guys. So at the moment, yes, I'm still leaning towards the upside, but again, let's be very careful around here, around this downside line. The German index, DAX, so yeah, good decline, I would say, a good decline on Friday. As you can see here, it drifted lower. It did find good resistance near this 14,600 territory. I spoke a lot about that level. And we, as you can see here, we drifted lower, but we found good support near that 100-day EMA. So, what could happen next year? I mean, looking at the cash index right now, we can see that the index is trying to push back up. We are sitting at around 14,550 level. So basically, we are above this this barrier here, the one that I talked about previously, this 14,510 zone. I think I can get rid of it because I think it's no longer a kind of, let's say, it's a little bit in the way, let's put it this way. Now, what I can keep an eye on here, I'll reuse it here. But basically, I would say this way, that as long as we somehow manage to remain above that 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line, then there is still hope here for the bulls. And in general, there is still hope for the bulls, because we are still trading above this upside line taken from the low of the 12th of May. So even if we decline here, I mean, by this arrow, we can see that what I mean here is that we still could rebound from this upside line. It's a bit of a tentative upside line, but nevertheless still in an upside line. However, although I am leaning a little bit more towards the upside on this one, I would actually prefer to wait for a push above that 14,600 territory, somewhere around here. And if we do stay above it, then yeah, I'll go for the upside. I'll go for that 200-day EMA, or we could then target this highest point of March near the 14,925 low. A lot of things to consider here, guys, but it could play out nicely. Let's wait and see, of course. Nasdaq. So on Friday we saw a bit of a decline here, and on Friday I talked about this index. And I said that if we somehow manage to stay above this 12,762 territory, then, well, there could still be a potential, for this one to move higher. But as you can see, we kept down here. The positive, on the positive note, I would say that, yeah, we're still kind of holding on to this 21-day EMA. We're still above it. The cash index is currently sitting at around 12,630 territory, so we're still somewhere around here. I would like to see another push above this barrier, above this 12,762 territory. If we do climb above it, then of course, the next target is to keep in mind, keep an eye on this highest point of last week. Now, again, with this barrier, with this 12,762, I mean, I will, if we do push above it, I will carefully start aiming to the upside, initially targeting the highest point of last week. But if that gets cleared, this is where I'll get a little bit more comfortable with, further advances here. So in other words, guys, some breaks are needed. At the moment, like I said, the cash index is sitting at somewhere around here. Although I would like to be a little bit more confident with the upside, but still, I mean, like I said, I will wait for those confirmation breaks, and then I'll just jump from there. In terms of the downside on this one, at least in the near term, so if we drop below the this hurdle here, this 12,458 territory, that's where, yeah, we could maybe consider a bit of a larger correction here to the downside, towards maybe this upside line here, taken from the low, the 20th of May, and then, yeah, we could just, take it from there. We'll see what he wants to do further, but let's put it this way for now. For the downside, in the near term, I would wait for a drop below this hurdle first, this 12,458 zone. The S&P 500, so a similar story, to be honest, as with the Nasdaq, and yeah, it's also showing a bit of a retracement right now on the cash index. However, we're still in this area here. We're still above the 21-day EMA. That's great, but we're still in this area. So for this one, actually, yeah, I will also keep an eye on that 4,168 territory that I spoke about previously. But of course, we do have very closely to it. We have the highest point of last week near the 4,177 zone. So a nice good push above it. Yep, may lead in the index a little bit higher here, but you need to be careful near this tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 29th of March. So yeah, a lot of things to consider, guys. Okay, now jumping into DXY, the dollar index. So on Friday we saw the dollar strengthening, slightly better than expected. Job numbers. So we received from the U.S. on Friday. That gave a boost to the dollar, and yeah, we saw this one pushing higher, but it still remained below that 21-day EMA. As you can see here, what I talked about previously, I said that even if we could see a bit of a retracement here to the upside, as long as it struggles to push above this 21-day EMA, or even better above this 102.65 territory, then yeah, another decline could be possible. I'm still kind of aiming for this this upside line here, taken from the low of the 10th of February. So let's see if we can actually finally reach that or not. The level to keep an eye on around there is the lowest point of May near the 101 point. Let's round it up here a little bit, 30. So 101.30. That's what we could keep an eye on. If the index continues to struggle to push, let's say, above the 21-day EMA, or even better, this 102.65 territory. Now jumping into gold. Now here we have we dropped below that 1858 territory. I spoke about this level last week, and I said that, well, wait for this one to move above this 1869, or actually let's round it up here, 70 level, and wait for it to stay above it, because in order to go for some higher levels, because this could be maybe forming a possible ascending triangle pattern, which of course, according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the upside. But until we get that break, let's say the instrument could continue, trading inside of it. So this is what we're seeing exactly here on gold. So we drifted higher, we tested that 1870 territory, and we started kind of, then we failed to stay above it, and then we drifted lower. And not only that, we also drifted below the 21-day EMA, the 200-day EMA, and that 1858 level. So there is a possibility maybe to see this one actually testing this upside line, the lower side of the potential ascending triangle pattern. But again, let's take everything carefully here. At the moment, I would say this way: if we continue to trade below the 200-day EMA, then yes, I will aim for this upside line taken from the low of the 16th of May, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. If we do rebound from this upside line, then we could go higher. In order to get a little bit more comfortable, I would say, with the upside, then I would actually prefer to wait for a push up of that 1870 territory first. Now jumping into WTI oil, guys. So of course the oil madness continues, and look at this. I mean, we did, after we kind of pushed above that 114.79 territory, the one that I kept on talking about, which is the highest point of 2011. The commodity pushed higher, tested the upper side of this rising channel. Now we did overshoot it, and we did kind of bounce around here, and now we're seeing a bit of a drift lower, I would say, back into the rising channel, because we broke it. So it's actually, I'm losing interest in this formation. However, for now, I want to keep it. I want to see if actually continues somehow, maybe to respect the upper side here. But I mean, although I'm seeing that it's not really doing that, but roughly, guys, I mean, if let's say we put a weekly chart on it, we can see some sort of, like respect of this rising channel. But either way, at the moment we're seeing a bit of a retracement. Can this be sustained by the sellers? Well, that's a good question, because I mean, at the moment, I mean, everything's really looking very optimistic, I would say, for the buyers here. But I would say this way, that for now, if we do climb and stay above this 119 or 120 barrier in general, if we stay above that 120 territory, then guys, yeah, the next target is the 129.42 level, or even above that. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this one. For the downside, I would actually prefer to see wait for a drop below that 114.79 territory, and then yeah, consider maybe a bit of a move lower. Bitcoin, quickly on that one, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but still fighting, yep, the buyers are trying to fight hard and trying to keep this crypto afloat. As you can see here, we're still balancing above this highlighted territory, which is the lowest point of 2021, near the lowest point of July of 2021 as well. So yeah, the lowest points of June and July, it's kind of creating this little area, which I've highlighted, as you can see here. So we're still trading above it. Now, this area is between the 28,800 level and the 29,301 level. Or let's round it up here a little bit to 300. So, but yeah, so we're still kind of bouncing around above it. However, we remain below this downside line taken from the high of the 3rd of April, and if we are, let's say, looking for some higher levels, then, well, a break of this, of course, a break of this downside line is needed. It's required. So until then, I'm just observing this one. Although yes, it is quite tempting, but yeah, let's wait and see, guys. For the upside, in terms of the barrier, now, what I'm going to keep an eye on here is I'm going to keep an eye on the high of last week, near the 32,384 level, somewhere around here. Above that, we do have some other barriers, but yeah, this is going to be my first target, this high of last week, and then I'm going to take it from there. AUD/USD. So continues, although yeah, it drifted lower, as you can see here on Friday. The dollar, yes, picked up the pace. US dollar picked up the pace, and they forced the Australian dollar to decline against it. Yeah, we drifted lower after we tested this area. I talked about this, the 0.7265 zone. I keep on monitoring that area. As I said, that if we do climb and stay above it, then yep, we will go for some higher levels. At the same time, this level coincides with the 200-day EMA, so yeah, it's quite an important level to watch. It acted as a strong resistance level, strong resistance area, and the pair drifted lower. However, we're still above this upside line. So, in other words, if we do rebound from this upside line and then we push above this 0.7265 territory, I'll go for a higher high, and my next target is the 0.7343 level. For the downside, I would need to see a drop somewhere below this level here, the 0.7141. Again, I will stick not this level, not the lower one, the 0.7110. I talked about this one last week, but today, right now, I mean, for this week, I think we could actually lift it a little bit here and keep an eye on the 0.7141 territory. If we drop below this level, then this could also lead to a drop below the 21-day EMA, and maybe then this could attract a few more sellers. USD CAD. So, okay, so here we have a pair which is for now doing what I wanted it to do. We are not far from this upside line here, taken from the low of the 1st of June of 2021, and this is my target. I said before that if we drop below this 1.2765 5 area somewhere around here, then yes, I'll aim for the 200-day EMA. And here you can see that we rebounded a little bit, tested the 200-day EMA from underneath. It acted as a strong area of resistance, and then yeah, we drifted lower, and we're now kind of approaching this upside line. I'm still targeting it. Let's see if we can reach that, guys, and then I'll just go from there. USD JPY, so far so good. The idea of a falling wedge is working out perfectly. So yep, we got that breakout. We're pushed higher, and what I said before, that my next target will be somewhere around here, near the 131.25 and this 131.35. So yeah, we are very close to it. So I mean, I would even say already mission accomplished. If you're, you know, if we had this nice move here to the upside, so now I think we can actually enjoy the moment here. I think we can. I would say if you did enter here and you kept on running this position, I would say better take the profit now, because I mean, it might not even, let's say, hit these 2 levels that I'm talking about. It might, decide to drift back down or something like that. So it might give us a little bit of a tease here, and then yeah, we drift lower. So I would say at the moment, mission accomplished, and let's rethink our strategy for a further upside. For that, I would say until we get a break above this 131.35 level here in the highest point of May, until we get that, yeah, I'm gonna remain cautiously bullish. And yeah, I'm gonna continue monitoring the situation here. For the downside, for the downside, I would say maybe a drop somewhere below this hurdle, this 129.78. As you can see here, it previously acted as a good area of resistance and support. So this 129.78 is something to keep an eye on. Then be careful with the 21-day EMA, because it might provide maybe a bit of a support. So yeah. At the moment, like I said, if you're not, let's say, if you manage to squeeze something out of this, congratulations. Now I will take a cautious approach, and like I said, I'll wait for a clear breakout through one of these levels that I just mentioned here. Okay, guys, so apologies for going blank there a little bit, going quiet. GBP USD, guys, GBP USD. So look at this roller coaster ride here last week, at the end of last week. So initially we saw a drift lower, then a rebound. What I said to you before, that if you're looking for some downside, then well, wait for a drop below this 1.2472 territory, somewhere around here. And if we do drop below it, then we'll go lower. But yeah, it's we're still hanging above this area, above this hurdle, so it's proving to be quite an important one to watch. So if we eventually drop below this, then yes, my next target is the 1.2330 zone, somewhere around here, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. For the upside, it's still the same game plan. I need to see a break of this downside line taken from the high of the 21st of February in order to get comfortable with the upside. EURUSD. So also something that I mentioned before to you, that here we have a potential falling wedge pattern, and if you understand, I mean, and if you see the resemblance here, so something with like with USD JPY. So again, I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen. No, because I mean, it could still, for example, trade around here, but then fail. Let's say it could break the upper side of this potential falling wedge pattern, but then let's say at the end of the trading session just go back down, and what we'll have ourselves here is maybe a possible false breakout. So yeah, and that's why until we see a clear break through this upper side, and then we see the pair staying and continuing to trade above it, then yeah, I'll continue targeting the upside, where my next aim will be this 1.6842 territory, and then we'll just take it from there. For the downside, I need to see a drop below this 1.6368 territory right here in order to move lower. but then we still have you know, a problem with the lower side of the falling wedge pattern, and that could be a bit of an issue, I would say. So long story short, at the moment I am just observing this one. It is attractive, it's very attractive, but I will be continuing to observe this, and if we do eventually break this upper side of the falling wedge pattern, then we'll go to the upside, and especially if we stay above that upper side of the falling wedge pattern. And finally, EURUSD, guys. So EURUSD, also something quite interesting. This one here, I would say at the moment we're still kind of hanging above that 21-day EMA. So it seems that the bulls are not giving up. So I'm gonna take a bit of a neutral approach on this one at the moment, because I would like to see a push above the 1.0787 territory before, let's say, aiming to the upside. The thing that I kind of support my upside is, let's say, we have this little pattern here forming, and probably would be better seen on a maybe 4-hour chart. Let's have a look, or maybe even a 1-hour chart. No, it's not really ideal on that one. So I need to come back onto the daily chart. So what I mean here is a possible bullish flag. However, it's not very great and not really, you know, concrete. So probably I'm gonna just keep that idea somewhere in the back of my head, but mainly focus on some of the barriers here. So for example, this 1.0787, if we do pop a nicely above it, then this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could go for some higher levels. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 1.0636 territory right here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, and then we could this level did provide previously good support. As you can see here, it's the lowest point of March of 2020. Then it acted as a good area for resistance, and we broke it, and then it took the role of support again. So that's why, you know, I'm going to keep an eye on this hurdle, and if we do drop below it, then this could potentially open the door towards lower levels, but then we'll still be very careful, because again we have some obstacles here on the way lower. So in other words, we always think everything carefully. So at the moment, guys, like I said, I'm waiting for a clear breakout through one of these levels. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for watching and listening. I'll have to wrap it up here. I hope you found this video useful. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my trader's Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.